What lessons are you taking from this match?
I think it's that we just need to keep improving the stuff that we have been improving.
Is the team's confidence high?
It's super high, man. You have no clue how high it is right now.
What would you say are Carroll's aspirations for what this season's going to hold?
Oh, what else besides the championship, right?
Following Bruv right now, and it's all. Oh my god, what a right click onto the far up.
It's to me.
Huge anti on the core be able to get that pick, but Lizard does go down in exchange. I think you're willing to take that trade, though.
Absolutely. Constant Rhyme is able to get two, digs to the Corby and the Piston Drew.
Three? Four? Wait, Constant Rhyme?
Lizard slides through the building and is able to res while still inside the building and brings back Benny Boy.
See? And a huge anti. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
HP is back to another ult. He's going to pop it. He already has 2 picks in this fight. He's going for a third. Now a fourth.
Every single time there's that assist from Lizard. Oh my gosh, bro!
But, you know, we've already gone undefeated this year, so what's left but to make a run at the national championship.
All right, welcome everybody to the first round of the playoffs here. Carroll College Overwatch team coming in as the #1 overall seed. I'm going to be your host tonight, Josh. Joining me, as always, Brady Clark. Brady, how's it going, man? Possible technical difficulty. All right. We are getting set up right now for the match. Gonna be an exciting one for sure. Carroll College going up against Northwestern State tonight. As I mentioned, Carroll's coming in completely undefeated, having only dropped one map. Their overall win-loss record giving them the clear and default #1 seed. Should be an absolutely exciting game and one that I'm excited to have the opportunity to host and be a part of, and it should be a good one. Brady, were you talking? Did we have a little technical difficulty there?
I was talking, but I think you may have had me muted on Discord. I just want to say I am so excited for this game. As a former Carroll player myself, we were happy to get our first win, and it's absolutely insane that about 2 years later, Carroll is now in the playoffs, and not only in the playoffs, but the #1 seed in the playoffs over teams like LSU and Texas A&M. I mean, that's just insane to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember, like you talked about getting the first win. That first season that I remember casting when you were still a player, it was tough. I mean, it was a team that didn't have any real support from the college. They had barely put together some players, and they were playing in their first season here in Overwatch. And I just remember, that was a time when, it was scrappy, and that's what Carroll has grown from into a program that now has amazing support from the university. I know this game is being played at the college, in the Cube, where everyone is able to watch it, and to see that growth, not just in Carroll's team, but also in the college around them, definitely, I think is a great storyline that is very emblematic of the growth that they've had as a team. Because don't get me wrong, not only do they have the support from the school, they've earned it. They are a top tier program here in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's been really great, especially to see so much support from the president over at Carroll College, John Seck. Recently, they actually gifted him a jersey because there's been so much support from John Seck. I think it's also a really just great opportunity for the college to be able to attract more people, and especially like really talented Overwatch players. Like we have some, both of the support lines so far are from, are both freshmen, right? So they're both huge pickups this year. Benny Boy has been an absolute asset to the team, as Lizard has. And they really helped to solidify that base. It's also allowed Bruv to switch over from the support, which he played last year, to DPS, which he's absolutely excelled at. I mean, the Bruv's Sojourn has been insane to watch this season.
Yeah, no question about that. It's something that I think, you point out in terms of like attracting talent. It's something that I think when you see players and students, maybe, I don't know why some of these players came to Carroll, but if they knew that they, at least on the side, right? Maybe not as a scholarship, maybe not as the main reason they're picking a school, but if as a little bit of a side gig, they knew that they wanted to play some competitive Overwatch, having a team like Carroll's is one that is going to continue to attract and develop top talent who will see it as an opportunity, see it as a reason to want to be a part of Carroll's program, and that's just going to continue to improve their abilities as a team moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. I am excited to see what happens this playoff season. So Carroll, first round will be quarterfinals against Northwestern State, and then after this they will play the winner of Louisiana State University and Texas A&M, and then after that they're in the championship match. So they just have to win 2 matches to be in the championship match, which has been their goal all season.
Yeah. I mean, when you go undefeated, it has to be. It is noteworthy. I think that we have a pretty strong, on the other side of the bracket, I think that we do have a pretty strong, couple competitors, as you mentioned. LSU, Texas A&M, definitely going to be one that Carroll is going to have their work cut out for them. But I think that there's been a real opportunity in this season because of how dominant Carroll has been to really exercise playing as a team, because sometimes I think when you're getting really pushed around, it's just do what you can, right? It's counter swap, it's changing heroes, it's trying anything and everything, throwing it all at the wall and seeing what sticks when you feel like you're in survival mode. When you get the opportunity to really be the dominant force, it gives you opportunities to try different play styles where you get to force and create the pace. And that gives Carroll a real opportunity to develop the style that they want to play here in the playoffs, even when they play against better teams.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pardon the noise in the background, everyone. We're good then. But we are pretty excited for tonight's game. I think I was talking to Bruv before the game, and he was telling me that their team has a Torb 1 trick and a Sombra Reaper. He said JR DPS. What do you think that means? JR DPS. What does that mean? Sojourn?
Junkrat?
Oh, yeah, probably Junkrat. Okay. So that would make way more sense than Sojourn. I don't know where I came up with that. So the enemy team has a Torb 1 trick and a Sombra Reaper Junkrat DPS duo. I think that's going to be really interesting. I think that means that, like, Bruv is going to be able to play, like, really, really aggressive Sojourn into this, right? Because the Torb turret, I don't think prevents much of a Sojourn.
No, in fact,
the Sojourn.
You charge your railgun on the Torb turret.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Bruv's gonna be a menace tonight.
Yeah, I think especially with the Lizard pocket, it's gonna go insane. But I think other than that, I mean, we've talked about, you and I were asked a couple weeks ago who we thought the players to watch were. So I guess I'll talk about mine first. I think it's gonna be Mr. Spee. I think I've been talking about this all season. Mr. Spee is by far and away, and I don't know about by far and away by the end of this season, but I definitely think he started out as the strongest this season and has continued to excel in the tank role. I mean, we've just seen some really dominant performances from him when we get him on Junker Queen. As you saw in the highlight video, I mean, he can get like 4Ks with the axe. Like, he's just able to be in such an aggressive position, make a bunch of space for his team to work with. And I think that has been pivotal to Carroll's success, as well as the fact that he is also the shot caller. And so Carroll's shot calling has been very efficient this season, I believe. They've been a great job of focusing down targets and being able to prioritize the supports as well.
Absolutely. Lots of credit to Mr. Spee for that capacity there. My choice, Benny Boy. When he is able to hit his cooldowns as Ana, it protects the entirety of the backline. It takes so much pressure off of the rest of his supports, his other support, and both of his DPS. It really allows and gives them free reign, whether that be in the Cassidy, the Sojourn, to create opportunities, create space, especially if there's going to be a Reaper or Sombra. It's going to be more critical than ever that Benny Boy is able to hit the sleeps. The Biotic Nade is always important because it allows for Mr. Speed to contest and really pick that fight in a way that the tank isn't able to engage in match. But I'm really going to be watching here for the sleep darts on a flanking Reaper or Sombra. That's going to be of the utmost importance that Benny Boy is better than ever on his cooldowns. I really think when you see Benny Boy at the top of his game, he does it all. He plays right up next to the front line. He's supporting a DPS, or he's fragging himself. And when Benny Boy's on his game, Carroll's at its best. Well,
yeah, 100%. I mean, we have seen some like absolutely massive biotics from Benny Boy this season, and I think those have been pivotal in the fights. I mean, there was a game that we didn't get to stream where the enemy team tried to Symmetra TP onto point, and Benny Boy threw up a biotic grenade and got the entire team as they TP'd in.
That's disgusting. Going to be even more important here. We are playing with perks tonight. That means the biotic bounce, the double bouncing, biotic nade, that is going to be accessible to Benny Boy. I expect to see that perk every single time. It also means Mr. Benny Boy gets to nano himself. What a menace.
Yeah, I think that's the perk he takes.
I don't know. We'll see.
That's the perk you take.
I feel Benny Boy should be. The way he hits shots, absolutely. So I hope
the
so.
other option is that you get headshots. So, I mean, do you want that?
That's true. That's true. I don't know if Benny Boy's really like binding down sights all that often to hit the headies, and so I don't expect him to take headshots, but I guess it will be an interesting kind of metagame to see where Benny Boy plays. The other advantage to giving himself the nano is that the survivability that comes with it, right, is that if he's getting jumped, he can both pass it off and keep himself up so that Speed doesn't have to peel, for example. That's a really big impact that can have. Going to be interesting to see which one he picks. I think you may be right on the headshot, though, because if you've got the Cassidy supporting you, maybe you just don't need that quite as much. So definitely going to be an interesting one. To that point, we do at this point have 4 other players that we need to be looking at. And so Brady, or 3 other players, I guess, in addition to the 2 that we've mentioned. I think it's time for our player introductions. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Carroll's Overwatch team.
Lizard number 29, I am a freshman from Victor, Montana. I am a support player, I play Mercy, and I have been here for 2 seasons.
Hey, I'm Benny Boy. My number's 32. I'm a sophomore. I'm from Mahomet, Illinois. I'm a support main, and my favorite character is Ana. I've been on the team for 2 seasons.
Bruv, number 00. I'm a junior from Rigby, Idaho. I main BTS, play Sojourn, and this is my 6th season with the team.
I'm Sunprime number 14. I'm a senior. I come from Normandy in France. I main DPS, Cassidy, and Thor, and that's my 2nd season.
Hey, this is Mr. Speed. I'm a senior. I'm from Corona, California. I currently make tank for the team. Currently play Dragon Queen, Sigma, Ram, any tank you can think of. And I've been playing on the team for about 8 seasons now.
And there you have your Game & Saints lineup. It's going to be a great match, Brady. It's really been amazing to see the growth and development that these players have gone through, and the kind of performance that they're able to put together now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great performance. I mean, I was talking to Brav again before the game, and he was saying that vibes are super high. I think he said that it's the first time that they've had all 5 people at warm-up since week 2, which is kind of insane. Because first of all, Carroll, you should be warming up, so everybody should be there. I don't know what's going on. But second of all, I think that just shows how excited Carroll is for this match, how much energy they're going to be bringing to this match. I also have really good news, really sad news, actually, if you're a Carroll College coin flip enjoyer. Since Carroll College is the 1 seed, they get to pick the map tonight. So Josh, I think you know where we're going for map 1.
Listen, Brady, them picking the map just by default of seed is just as effective as a coin toss. Come on. Carroll doesn't lose coin tosses. You know this.
Yeah.
We're going Ilios, baby. Ilios map 1. Here we go.
Yeah, so I think we're definitely going to see something that we've been seeing all season. Like, I think we're going to see the Spee, Junker Queen. I think we're going to see maybe some Kiriko Juno, probably some Ana, though, realistically, from Benny Boy. I think Blizzard could go Juno or Kiri, maybe even Mercy to be able to pocket Bruv, who I imagine will be rolling out on the Sojourn. And Constantine, I imagine we'll see him stick to the Cass.
Yeah, I would definitely expect that same lineup. Only switch up. We do have the occasional swap. Mr. Spee is the one. This is something that's really fascinating about this season as opposed to previous seasons. In previous seasons, the team has flexed around Mr. Spee to try and support their play style into another team's matchup. So Mr. Spee would lock, for example, the Junker Queen. And, if the Sojourn wasn't working, they'd swap to the Reaper. And then you'd have a Reaper and a Juno. And they'd swap the Cassidy over to like a Junkrat or whatever. And so they're making all these swaps. And they're keeping the tank the fundamental same. The problem is that when you continue to insist on the tank as being the focal point of how your strategy is going to play, then there isn't a point really in making wholesale swaps to the team, because what it means is you're still playing the exact same style. You're playing the same level of brawliness that you were playing before, but now you're just on a hero rotation that you're not as comfortable with. That has been completely opposite this season, where Mr. Spee has been the one to pivot heroes, whether it be the Junker Queen, the Ramatra, the Sigma, the Mauga, you name it, Mr. Spee, the Diva. Mr. Spee has been able to swap onto a wide variety of characters, and it's allowed his team to stay on their core, changing the flavor of the way that they're playing, but addressing the imminent threats that are coming from the other team. And Spee's flexibility is the reason that Carroll's been able to have so much success on their favorite lineup, especially on a map like Ilios.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, too, like what's so crucial about that is that flexibility is what then allows the rest of the team to flourish, right? In the sense that like that tank that Spee is swapping to is the one that's going to be able to create like the most space, create the most angles for Bruv and Constantine to be able to find those holes in the enemy's defense and get those picks that help Carroll win these fights early on.
Right. Or to that point, peel, right? Where he swaps Diva and then is able to peel off in order to support his backline if he's getting dove. Lots of options here for Mr. Spee to play around and support that team to ensure that they're able to play the roles that they are the most comfortable with.
100%. As the 1 seed, Carroll will be playing against the 8 seed tonight. So I imagine that as far as all of their matches go, this one should comfortably be the easiest, I would hope. I'm going to knock on wood as I say that, right? Because I don't want to like jinx anything. But I think from here, it's going to be harder matches. We've seen Carroll play a few of these teams before, but we haven't seen them all, especially like Texas A&M and LSU.
To that point, Brady, there is in Carroll's league, there is a kind of conference system where you have the 2 different conferences. And so you might hear, oh, well, top 8, like how many teams are in this league? There's 2 conferences of 8 teams. And so Carroll right here going up against the 8 seed really means that we're going to be looking at mostly the top 4 from both conferences is essentially what it is. Still going to be a legitimate threat. Carroll has to take this seriously, but you're right. It isn't Texas A&M and LSU, those 4 or 5 seeds that are also like the number 2 or number 1 seeds out of their conference. That's where it's really going to get kind of interesting. But Carroll has to take care of business. You have to take every game seriously if you want to continue to advance the championship.
100%. And I do think Carroll has the mindset and has put in the time to be able to bring that W around. Yeah. So it looks like have the lobby full, and it looks like we might be jumping into Ilios pretty soon here. The other team has their icons all coordinated, which is pretty impressive, I do have to say.
Gotta give him credit for that. All right, let's get some game volume up. I missed that once, and that was a big disappointment.
You got to have the game volume, otherwise it's just not the authentic experience.
It's not. It really, really isn't. So we got the game volume going, and we should be loading into game any minute. Brady, if you had to pick one thing right now that you're watching for Carroll, what is it going to be?
I think it's going to be alt uses in this first map, right? Because I think that the energy is going to be really high going into this. You're the 1 seed. You get to pick your first map to start with. And I think we've seen that when Carroll's energy gets kind of high, that they commit alts to fights that they shouldn't commit. And that those alts kind of end up being wasted. And as we've talked about the entire season, the alts in Overwatch are crucial to team fights, right? And so I think tonight, I really want to see Carroll kind of come through and use their alts really effectively.
For me, it's got to be target prioritization. Carroll's been excellent at this all season long, and they've done so and been able to overcome, to your point, some at times poor ultimate usage because their target acquisition and prioritization was so clean that it made it very difficult, even with misused ultimates, for the other team in order to effectively engage, because time and time and time again, you were having Carroll engaging in a 5v4 because they were getting the first pick. If Carroll is to succeed, ultimates or not, it's going to be because of their target prioritization being as good, as clean as it has been all season long. And with that, Brady, guess what time it is?
I think it's time for the first map.
I think it's time for the first map. We are going to Ilios, as was predicted. Why would you change something that ain't broke? Carroll has not lost Ilios. Have they lost a point on Ilios this season?
I don't think so, and I don't think tonight's the night.
I don't think so either. Carroll's only dropped, I think, 1 or 2 maps all season long. But Ilios, Carroll has just been phenomenal at. It really is their bread and butter, and it's
Yeah. And we're seeing their bread and butter comp to start, right? We've got Spee showing the Junker Queen, Betty Boy showing the Ana, Bruv on the Sojourn, Lizard on the Mercy, and Constant Rhyme on the Cast. This is basically exactly what we were expecting to see.
Yes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's for sure. And here we go. Brady, it is Carroll College's first time ever in the Overwatch Playoffs. It's going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, this is super exciting. And I think this first fight's gonna be super pivotal as well, right? Because there's gonna be a bunch of important cooldowns, like they need to stay away from this Roadhog hook and getting dragged into the pit. And we also are gonna see some antis coming out, which is going to be met by the Sioux. So I think that's gonna be an important matchup between Salted Salt and Betty Boy to watch.
Yeah, great point. I do like the lineup that's coming here out of Northwestern. I think that the ability to isolate off away from
Huge anti. Yeah, big anti-hunter reptilian puts some huge picks from Carroll early on here. I mean, we have 2 picks by Bruv early on in the fight. There's a third to clean up the support. And I think what's so huge there is that anti-hunter reptilian creates so much dispersion amongst the team, right? Because now they have to use all their cooldowns to respond to reptilian. And it's just like instantly everybody has to kind of back up a little bit. So Carroll takes that space, Bruv goes on an angle and is able to get that pick. Yeah, not a 1v1.
It's a 2v1. I don't know why they would take that fight.
Yeah.
Carroll's gonna clean up nicely.
Yeah, Bruv cleans up what now? 4 in that fight? Yeah. Is he gonna get the 5? Is he gonna get the 5?
Not able to get the 5. The soldier was able to get the
Unlucky.
There's another swap already out of Northwestern. Going over to the Monkey. And I think this pick is horrible. Playing the Monkey into the Junker Queen, I think this is a terrible choice. Carroll's obviously already got Northwestern.
Yeah, I don't think the Monkey switch is the choice here. I mean, who do you really dive into? The Mercy?
Right. Mr. Speed able to get the and the Monkey. Bruv fights another 2v1 against the Soldier and loses. Oh no!
Oh, no way. No way.
He's gonna be sneaking in for the res here. Yeah. And Blizzard gets the nice. And Bruv is able to hold on to his ultimate. I mean, that's the critical point of this fight, is that all you have to do is use a Bruv, the Nano.
Yeah.
You have this rampage still.
Yeah, and there's also this Valkyrie early. Oh, and Krabby's already down, so that's one support down. There's a Tac Visor and a Kitsune Rush from the other side. Bruv is challenging it because he's like that.
Soldier has to back off. Goes down. Soldier's all that's left. Carroll cleans up a clean 100-0 to open up their playoff performance.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a super... Yeah, that's just a super clean map from Carroll. I mean, there's not really anything to say other than, like, Carroll just dominated. I mean, they're in the lead the whole time. They don't really lose a team fight ever. I mean, we have maybe 1 or 2 deaths on the side of Carroll, but other than that, I mean, Carroll is just steamrolling. Yeah, and they're red, so it doesn't matter. I'll be interested to see if there's any big swaps coming in. So it looks like we are going to have a little bit more of a divey composition coming out from Northwestern. They're going to be bringing out the Diva as well as the Sombra. Oh, actually, they're going to match the Queen. Okay. Little ego duel between Reptilian and Mr. Spee. I like that. I like that for Carroll.
Yeah, this is definitely going to go Carroll's way, I think. And not just because I'm a Carroll believer, you know.
Right. I mean, we are obviously Carroll believers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But...
Oh, that Sombra's going to go down quick. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Huge pick onto the Sombra, but that is being met by 2 picks from the side of Northwestern. They are able to res the Sojourn, which is big. So now it's a 4v4, and Constantine is able to pick one off. So now Carroll has a slight advantage. Reptilian goes down. Carroll cleans up. I think that res is critical there.
Absolutely. The Junker Queen, when Mr. Speed steps over just a little bit in order to take care of the Sombra, and in doing so, Rogue Iron and Reptilian both are able to put a lot of damage that does take down, to your point, Benny Boy and Bruv. Fortunately, though, Lizard getting Bruv back up means there's still the same amount of damage output. Carroll's able to keep up. Minus the Sombra, Carroll really didn't have any frontline pressure to worry about, and was able to kind of clean up that team fight.
Yeah, 100%. That being said, Reptilian is currently leading in all charge against Mr. Speed, so that is something to keep an eye on. But overall, Carroll has such a strong lead in the ultimate charge, right? Like, Lizard is almost to Valkyrie, Constantine is almost to Deadeye. We have a Sojourn Overclock coming up, so I mean, we're going to have a lot of ults going into this. And Carroll is already almost at 40%, which is a huge lead. Huge anti on Reptilian that doesn't get Suzu'd.
Crazy. Do you think, was Suzu not available? I mean...
I think they missed. I think they missed the Suzu.
Oh, okay.
That's just unlucky. Yeah, another big res. I mean, every time Bruv is going down, right, and that's the person that's gone down in all these team fights so far, Bruv step it up. But also, I mean, Lizard is rezzing Bruv almost instantaneously every time that Bruv has gone down. So it's not like Bruv is out of the fight for that long.
No, and it really does give Bruv an opportunity to play a little bit more aggressive than he probably should, right? He doesn't have to worry about taking the Rogue Iron head on, for example. He can take the damage because Lizard is picking him up. Reptilian gets slept. Huge sleep followed up by the Bionade. They're not able to get Reptilian. Oh.
Yeah, Reptilian's still alive.
Benny Boy 1v1 Reptilian and almost solo took care of him. The Rampage comes out from Northwestern.
Yeah, Constantine does match that with 2, and Bruv is still ulting. Is this winnable for Carroll?
It'd be crazy.
Okay, Bruv gets another. Wait.
It's an Ana and the Kiri.
Wait, bro! Oh, Salted Salt said sit down, bruv. That was still insane that Carroll almost clutched that. I mean, there's a rampage into them. Right.
Oh, but Carroll's backing off. I think this is smart. I thought Mr. Speed was going to commit an ult here. This goes back to what you were talking about. Oh, the big knife onto the Sombra during the...
Huge knife.
Holy smokes. What reflex is there from Mr. Speed? Here comes the rampage. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, super great.
And that's it. I mean...
That should be game.
Rampage is without a doubt one of the best ultimates in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a super clean team fight. I mean, it's a good... You give up 23%, right? But you win the map overall by backing up and resetting there.
Right. One thing I think that's really important, once Northwestern makes a swap over to the Junker Queen, it becomes really scrappy. Carroll is, like, still has the better team comp, but the combination of the damage out of Rogue Iron, for example, Kiri's Like, there's just a lot of damage in kind of a poke wave that's coming out on Carroll. But here's the thing. Carroll's Ball of Death allowed them to get point first. And so Carroll will take a scrappy fight all day long. Because as you noted, before they even got anywhere close to sniffing a real team fight, they were at the point that it was like 40% or more. And so it really became just an easy point for Carroll, because by the time that Northwestern was finally able to win a fight, Carroll was up to 99%.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, then you give up 20%, like we said, but Carroll ends up winning it overall just because they're able to reset so effectively.
Yeah, I mean 99-0.
Bruv may have died the most, but I think Bruv definitely might have been the MVP that map. Like, he was just getting the angles, he was getting picks every single fight, creating a ton of opportunity for Carroll to capitalize on that. And we almost had that crazy clutch where he and Constant Rhyme, like, what, 2v4, 2v5 there for a little bit, almost?
2v5 at 5, and they killed 4, but couldn't get the last one. Yeah. Wins 100, hits 100, 100-0 in the first point. Very close to hitting 100-0 in the second point. Man, if vibes weren't high to begin with, they sure are now.
Yeah, so if you're Northwestern, I mean, after that first map, we did see them kind of flash the Rhine at the end on Reptilian. Do you think you go Kings? Like,
yes. Well, in terms of map? Oh.
Yeah, where do you go next?
Probably Kings.
Yeah.
I think you probably go Kings with the Torb, Junkrat, Kiri, Juno?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I think that's probably your best bet, but the issue is that kind of a composition doesn't have any way to deal with the Bruv Lizard pocket up in the corner. And that's like, I'm like, I don't know what they do, because unless they go dive and like literally like a full team dive where they run, like, they flash the monkey. So you go monkey, you go Reaper, and I don't know, like a Genji or the Sombra. I guess if you could do a Reaper and Sombra together, and then pair that with the Juno and the Kiri, then maybe you could catch Bruv out and Lizard out enough.
Yeah. I just don't think so. I mean, like, look, Carroll just looked unbeatable on that first map, if we're being honest, right? Like, I mean, the one team fight you win is where you get, like, your ultimates online if you're Northwestern, and then you pick off 3 or 4 with that ultimate, and you still almost lose that fight. Like, come on.
Right.
You know, like, how do you stop that?
Yeah. You know, the Hazard maybe could be it. Hazard, Havoc, Hazard. Which one is it?
Yeah. Is it Hazard?
I think it's Hazard. I can't remember anymore.
I don't remember either. I will say, I do think, like, maybe if they could figure out the dive, that could counter what Carroll is doing well right now. But it just felt like switching to just the monkey and then not having much other support didn't help, you know?
No, that ain't going to cut it, right? No, you have to commit fully to the dive, because you have to get Bruv and you have to get Lizard at the same time before, like, in order to stop that fight. And if you don't get both, you're in trouble.
Right. They did pick Kings Row.
Kings Row used to be the Achilles heel of Carroll. And now Carroll plays Kings Row great. Mr. Spee's growth and development has really made him a rock star on Kings Row.
They're not doing the winter map. I'm kind of upset about that.
Unbelievable.
Gosh. But I guess I don't know if you've noticed, but I think the characters have googly eyes tonight.
I did see that. I was literally about to say that. I was like, man, talk about timing, that the playoffs of collegiate Overwatch takes place during the April Fool's event with the googly eyes.
That was really good planning by whoever came up with that. It's just much better comment. Okay, this is looking a little bit more divey, right? Like, we have a Genji coming out from Kings Row. From the side of Northwestern, and then we also have the Diva, so I could see them trying to put more pressure on Bruv, right? Bruv got so much value that first map. I think this is kind of what you have to do to adjust.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure the Junkrat pairs super well with that.
I wonder if it's a force of, like, they don't play anything else that pairs well with it.
Sure.
Carroll's almost read into this with Constant Rhyme coming in on the Torb. Did we see a lot of that throughout the season?
I've actually heard that they were going to play it more since the perks, because the perks on Torbjorn are so interesting.
Oh, yeah. The wall sticks.
Yeah, and you can also have like a really upgraded turret on level 3. Yeah, we're seeing them play super fast here. There's this quick rotation up the stairs. But that means that Juno is stuck behind, interestingly enough.
So right now we're watching the D.Va. We're watching Reptilian, and notice just how much more space that they're able to take with this dive. Bruv immediately has to get off of high ground, and now Northwestern kind of gets to play around to decide how they want to go in for a point of attack. Gonna be interesting to see how Mr. Spee is responding to this one, but able to pull down the D.Va, and there we go. The D.Va's gonna be isolated out, and it's gonna go down as a result. Yeah. There we go. Nice job.
There we go. Yeah, that's a really interesting rotation from Northwestern. But it doesn't seem to quite work out. I think the problem was for the rotation there for Northwestern is that the Juno gets left behind, right? So in that sense, you don't have as much support because the Juno isn't able to get the rotation with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And so there's just less healing to go around. Well, I mean, Salted Kiriko is up there. And Carroll does a really good job rotating off of that point as well, and recognizing that the Juno is sort of out of position and that they can capitalize by putting a ton of damage down onto the bigger targets.
Yeah.
Like the D.Va.
I think if they had done a better job of sticking together, then you've got a better chance. But there's another case, right? The Genji is just completely isolated, and Bruv Lizard combo is going to beat any solo target that you put in front of them. So of course that didn't work out. Like,
yeah,
obviously. And so it's really I think Northwestern has to be diving together. They need to be targeting Lizard if they want to make anything happen. But man, Carroll is just steamrolling Northwestern again.
Yeah, and I honestly was a little worried, right? Because I think on that first point, when we first saw that rotation come out, Carroll was kind of clumped together, and I think that meant that Rogue Iron on the Junkrat might have been able to get a lot of value, but we just haven't seen that come to fruition. As Bruv has been able to really shut him down. And I also think that Constant Rhyme's turret has been able to get a lot of value. I mean, we're seeing a ton of damage come out from Carroll and a ton of healing as we already have 4 ults online, and there's only 2 to match on the other side.
Yeah. And we've already got the swap over from Northwestern. They've abandoned the dive. So that's perk resets, that's ult resets, all of it, which means, I mean, that might be a full another team fight before they're really able to get any effect.
Oh gosh, this is what we wanted to see. We have the Spee Ramatra nanoed into the enemy team. Yeah, let him at him. That's 2 for Spee that fight. That's nuts.
And
Rogue Iron's trying to run away. You can't run, Rogue Iron. You can't hide. Carroll will find you.
Best part about that, Juno ult's committed, and Carroll just doesn't care. Mr. Spee was literally ulting in the middle of the Juno ult and did not matter.
Yeah. That's aura. That's aura.
Watch Bruv.
We still have 3 ults online for Carroll too. I mean, like, we're gonna have the overclock, which is gonna be huge this fight.
Damage boosted overclock is about to come out of Bruv, and that is gonna be nasty. And look at this.
I'm pretty sure
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure the perk actually also lets Bruv go up to 150 when overclocking on right clicks, which means that there's going to be just that much more damage, right? You can one-shot a squishy with a right click if you're damage boosted by a Mercy, which is kind of insane.
Mikiri's out of position here, goes down to 1, is able to back off a little bit, but Rogue Iron goes down because there just isn't enough damage. They did swap over to the Widow, but that just feels like desperation at this point to try and get any sort of a pick.
Yeah, if you see a Genji player swapping to a Widow, you know you're cooked.
I cannot.
Has anyone on Carroll died yet?
No, I don't think so. Okay, there goes Bro. Look, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done?
I jinxed it.
I was just about to say, I am so impressed at Lizard being able to keep Bruv alive through that. Bruv is taking so much damage.
Mr. Spee is anti, but they're able to keep Mr. Spee alive.
That's crazy.
That is actually insane.
That is crazy.
And a nano and a Spee just to flex on him.
Oh my gosh. There is a touch out of the Widow. That's not going to mean much. Mr. Spee's going to spawn, baby.
We are walking to the spawn. I mean, honestly, I was expecting, you know, like, maybe a little bit of a fight. You know?
Listen,
we are not seeing much of that.
I loved the pivot to the dive. Notice, because there were 2 different instances. First one, on the initial dive, Bruv and Lizard immediately have to drop, and they don't just drop off drop out of their normal spot. They have to drop completely off high ground, and Carroll balls up in the back corner. That's exactly where you want them. And as you pointed out, an opportunity for the Junkrat to get damage. However, they weren't grouped up. They weren't properly applying the pressure to keep Carroll there. And so the second Carroll got kind of a foothold, they were able to punish Northwestern immediately. The second time, once they switched over to the Orisa just walks up to high ground. Bruv jumps across the way, is able to keep high ground because what's the Orisa going to do? The cow is going to jump the gap? Come on. Not going to happen. and so Bruv is just standing there farming on the Orisa, and there's nothing that Northwestern could do about it. It shows the deficiencies of not being able to isolate and take care of Bruv and Lizard, and as long as Carroll's able to continue, and Bruv in particular, supported by the Lizard damage boost, is able just to free farm damage, Northwestern just isn't going to stand a chance.
Yeah, we are seeing a Bruv Widow performance. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a Bruv Widow masterclass, me personally.
Come on. Okay, here we go.
Well, we'll see. So they actually have a really interesting comp here. Northwestern has a Rhine, a Moira, a Kiriko, a Sombra, and a Torgon. This is looking great. But
what a shot! And it's onto the Curie. That means Benny Boy's going to get so much value out of the biotic nades. This could be over
that's
before
two.
It starts. This is game. That's it. That biotic nade seals it. It's game. That's game.
That's game.
Map is done. Map is done. Move on. GG, go next, folks.
See, this is what always happens. Teams pick King's Row against Carroll, and then Carroll rolls them. I don't understand. Like, we're literally putting these VODs out there for these other teams so they can do their studying, and they're not even paying attention to the studying. We're giving, don't take up the Kings.
Don't
They're
take
too
the
good.
Kings. They might be just as good at Kings as they are at Ilios.
You know what it is? I think Carroll's just good at every map. I think Carroll's just good.
That's
like
fair,
I don't think there's a good map to take Carroll to.
We should stop qualifying Carroll's goodness.
Yeah, it's like, where are you gonna take them? Not King's Row? On any other map, they'll roll you on too. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
That's another play of the game for Bruv. That's 2 out of 2 games tonight.
Well, and here's the thing. That was play of the game, but Bruv's shot with Widow was the map. That was the map. Raps done. He hits that shot, hits the Curie. There's no Suzu. Benny Boy hits the biotic nade. 2 go down immediately after, and that was the entire game.
Yeah, and even as Reptilian is trying to pin out on Ryan, maybe to get a quick team reset back in that choke on the backside of point, Benny Boy hits a sweep onto him so he can't even pin away, and Carroll's able to clean him up. I mean, that is just brutal, Benny Boy. I mean, you're not even gonna let the guy get away? Come on.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I think we're about to see New Junk City, if I had to guess. That's my prediction.
It's funny because that's the standard rotation that every team keeps bringing Carroll to. Carroll goes Ilios, they win. The other team takes them to Kings Row. Carroll dominates Kings Row. They take them to New Junk City. It's going to come down to 0.5, and Carroll's going to clutch it out on 0.5. That's write the script, folks. It's done.
We promise it's not scripted, even though it seems like it. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of crazy. I feel like New Junk City is where we usually see, and I mean, at that point, usually Carroll is up 2-0, right? So we usually kind of see Carroll maybe get a little silly with it. I don't think we're going to see them get silly with it tonight because it's playoffs. But I do feel like sometimes we see a little bit more of a breakdown by map 3 because Carroll is up 2-0 and feeling pretty confident. And so I think this map, like I was talking about first map, we're especially going to want to watch for alt usage. I feel like alt usage has been super tight tonight and super efficient, especially in the rotations. I just think that this map, when we're switching it up and we're already up 2-0, I think we could see it get a little bit sloppier. So I'm hoping that Carroll stays locked in for this third map.
Yeah. To that point, so it does look like we're actually going to Surivasa.
Oh, I was wrong. Caster Curse again.
Yeah. But I think it's actually Flashpoint that is giving Carroll, if you had to say Carroll has one quote unquote game mode or map weakness, it does feel like it's Flashpoint. Now, Carroll hasn't lost a Flashpoint yet, so it's even hard to call that a weakness per se.
Yeah.
But I think that Carroll's team fights, Flashpoint lends itself to kind of chaotic team fights. You have players who are coming back from spawn constantly and meeting up at different parts of the map. When you compare it with a normal control, you're meeting up on point basically every time. And on a Flashpoint, the routes that people take to get to point are varied enough. You'll just run into players on your way. And just be walking back from spawn and you're you like stop and it's the Spider-Man memes where like the Sombras are pointing at each other. Like, what's going on? And so that leads to kind of chaotic team fights. Given that Carroll has been so good at the element of team fighting as a unit, a cohesive 5-person unit, I think that's where Carroll starts to break down in this specific game mode over any other. But again, Carroll hasn't lost yet. It seems like by point 5, Carroll always cleans it up.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, we have some big switches. Okay, well, if Carroll's doing if we have to be on the wrecking ball, GG's, pack it up, good night. But we have Reptilian switching over to the DPS and Ewing switching over to the tank for Northwestern. That's interesting. I wonder how much of an impact that's going to have.
I think what's really interesting is, like, they have people who've played Sombra, and they're swapping Reptilian for the Sombra.
Yeah, I feel like they're just like really in their heads. I think Bruv is living rent-free in the heads of every single person on Northwestern right now, and Reptilian is like, guys, you need to give me Sombra because I will be the one to shut down Bruv. Let me tell you right now, Reptilian, it's not going to happen.
It really isn't. Yeah. Bruv has not had any semblance of pressure. You're absolutely right. There it is, right? Reptilian instantly chooses Bruv, goes for the hack onto Bruv, but Bruv hits a right click, takes the Sombra down to 50, and voila, the Mauga's dead, and so is the rest of Northwestern.
Constant Rhyme picks off 2 there. Does get slept at the end of the fight, but honestly, I think Constant Rhyme takes that sleep on purpose to make Salted Salt feel better about themselves. And I think that's really generous of Constant Rhyme.
Bruv's going to get a big stagger here onto Salted Salt.
Huge.
It's going to be 50 before Northwestern even sniffs the point.
Yeah, and Benny Boy does go down at the end of the fight, but Lizard's able once again to get that res. I mean, Lizard has been so on point with the reses tonight. It's like any Carroll player goes down, and Lizard is there with the res.
What are you going to do, Reptilian? What are you going to do?
Bro's already at 90% of all. Like, yeah, keep trying, Reptilian. You've totally got it. You got it this time.
Bruv has ult. Bruv has ult already. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, Reptilian targets Lizard, which honestly is the right call, right? You've got to get Lizard off of Bruv if that's your priority. But yeah, and there it is. That starts to break down a little bit. Constantine's able to get a big pick. Reptilian on the Sombra is working to an extent, right? But compare the ultimate charges here. You're going to have the Bruv with the overclock. You're going to have Benny Boy with the nano, Constantine with the Deadeye. And I just think that Carroll is just going to be able to take advantage into just a EMP. Now, Reptilian's EMP could be the game maker. If he misses, it's over. Like that, point 1, Carroll.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you do get that EMP off and you get a ton of value, you're still only going to be at like 60%. So Carroll will get one more team fight, and they're coming in with 4, if not 5 ults at that point. It will be interesting to see. I do think Reptilian is going to target Lizard more often. Oh, but we already have the ult coming in, the overclock.
Oh!
Jack does get Lizard, but it's almost too late at that point. Oh my god!
Bruv! These people have families, man! Oh my gosh! I mean, Bruv might have just gone his 3rd play of the game.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you hear Bruv hit Q, and you just gotta run for the hills, I guess. He's just picking them off tonight. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh. And you're right, Lizard does go down again. It is one that Carroll doesn't want to see, obviously. But the fact that Reptilian has to go kill Lizard, then kill Bruv, then you can have a team fight, that's just not a sustainable way to win Overwatch.
Yeah, that's a super, especially in a game like this where it's like, oh my god, bro.
Bruv!
It's not that serious, bruv. You're up 2-0.
It's the quarters, dog. Oh my gosh.
In every game like it's the finals. That's what we like to see from Bruv. Holy cow, what a right click onto the Kiriko to be able to pick them off right after they ult.
Yeah.
And it seems like everyone else kind of rotates out of the ult, so there's just not so much value in it. Like, no one really played in that Kiriko rush.
Yeah. There's a swap off the Mauga onto the Rhine. I don't think the Rhine matches up well into the Ramatra.
Yeah,
I think
any of this.
Thrilled about that. Yeah. They're just kind of letting Reptilian... Oh! Constant Rhyme gets pinned there. I was going to say they were just kind of letting Reptilian do damage against Mr. Spee because they weren't getting picks. And yeah, Lizard's just keeping Bruv up. Bruv gets to do whatever he wants because
Which is crazy.
he has a lizard in his pocket. Or he's in
I mean, they get
pocket.
two.
Oh my gosh.
Spee gets 3 at the end. I mean, I was about to say they go down 2 early on in the fight, and then Spee, Bruv, and Lizard are able to hold down that point and win a 3v5, which is absolutely insane to me. Spee gets 3 at the end. Bruv gets a pick in the middle of there. It's just insane that Carroll is able to win that fight so smoothly, and they're going to 100-0 at this point now.
And you're going into the deciding point as Carroll, and Bruv has ult again.
Yeah, which is like GG's go next team fight.
And Benny Boy's got nano. You nano Bruv? Like what is Northwestern supposed to do into that?
Yeah, what does Northwestern do? I mean, they have nano and tire on the other side, but I mean, even if you tire, I don't know if that kills a nanoed Bruv.
I don't know. Not and if
I don't
so,
know.
Lizard's gonna get the res, so don't gotta worry.
Yeah, I'm not an Overwatch numbers cruncher, so like I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Bruv is
It's a really weird spot for Salted Salt to be. What the heck? Salted Salt is separated from the rest of the team behind.
Yeah,
so
they are.
3 players for Northwestern on point, and Salted Salt is behind everyone else. We do have the ult coming out from Bruv. Let's see what he's able to do here. Able to get the Kiriko, and we have the tire coming up, but this seems pretty late to me.
Bruv's gonna be able. Yeah, there it is. Tire gets 1. Reptilian gets 1, but it just doesn't matter. What it was Salted Salt doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Salted Salt, and now they're like trying to touch point. It might just be mental boom at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, man. Bruv might get a freebie here.
Yeah, Salted Salt took their hands off the keyboard for a minute, or controller maybe.
Could you imagine playing Ana on a controller?
No.
What a sicko if that's the case.
We go trade for trade here. But we do have a nano tanks going at it right now. We're saying just pick Benny Boy.
Yeah.
Carroll's down both supports now, but they're still holding on to this point. At least for now, I think. Okay, that feels a little unnecessary.
Oh my gosh, that was personal. That was personal,
definitely
and you
personal.
you cannot tell me otherwise.
No, that was actually insane.
Gosh.
That's BMU. We saw that.
Carroll's gonna have very quickly 3 ults. You give Bruv just like half a second longer, it'll be 4, and Northwestern has nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. Juno goes in super deep here. What is that?
What is going on?
Sloppy gameplay from Northwestern right now.
Oh, and Salted Salt's going down next. There's gonna be no supports left for Northwestern. There we go. The huge Benny Boy anti, and Mr. Speed's gonna have ult as well. Like that's wraps. That was wraps. Congratulations, Carroll. That's your first playoff game.
Yeah, Reptilian does pick Lizard. It's whatever. I mean, you have so many ults from Carroll, even if they manage to touch point. Yeah, and they don't.
No.
Wow. Just really, I mean, we've never seen Carroll be so dominant
No, I
on
don't think so
a flashpoint map like that before. Carroll listened to me before the game, and they were like, oh, Brady's talking crap. We got to lock in. Bruv gets his 3rd play of the game of the day, too.
There it is. Yep. Oh, my gosh.
That is just filth from Bruv. Just an average Wednesday night for Bruv, honestly.
Something like
at
that.
this point.
Game time, I mean, that was clean. It was easy. Carroll College showing why they're the 1 seed and why they deserve it.
Okay, I just want to say, game started at 8:30, and we are done. Or sorry everyone. I'm East Coast time. So all of you in the mountains, it's 6:30 for you. Okay?
That is correct.
But so 6:30 we started the game, and we are done by 7:04. That is how quickly Carroll rolled on 3 maps.
That's got to be a record, right? Man, what a game! What a game!
Yeah, 100%. Should we do an interview?
I mean, if Carroll wants to do an interview, I'm always down to do an interview.
Bruv messaged me. He said interview ? I think he wants to talk.
I guess we're doing an interview. All right, everyone, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we will have a member of the Carroll College Game and Saints for an interview. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. 1. All right. We now have with us Paxton, Carroll College Game and Saints. Welcome. Congratulations. You guys just won your first playoff game.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. It's been a long time coming. I remember a few years ago when we made the playoffs on like the bottom seed and got rolled. So it's nice to finally flip the script a little bit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Took a long time.
Had you played Northwestern prior to this week?
No, but we scouted them a ton. We watched like 6 streams. We knew exactly what they were rolling out on. We were actually pleasantly surprised when they rolled out on Hog for some reason. We were ready for the Rhine to come out, like Rhine Monkey. And so when they went Monkey as like a panic pick, we were just like, yeah, this is easy. We know exactly how we're doing it. We already talked about how we're going to rotate off height. Like that's why me and Jasmine or Lizard were giving height so fast, just because like we knew that their best player is their Winston player. And so if he has to force everything to get value, then we'll just not give him value and just, you know, play off angles. And then the second that he uses his jump cooldown to go somewhere else, we'll just retake height and make him just bug us the whole time so Steven can walk through the enemy team. Like,
yeah,
you know, if their tank's doing nothing, then we just win.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I was playing decoy role again, like against the Larks.
Gets play of the game 3 times in a row and is like, yeah, I was decoy.
That's the decoy roll, bro. That's what we talk about before the game. We're like, okay, I'm gonna decoy on height and wait for him to jump, and then sometimes when I take those off angles, I just dirty stuff happens. Shots just connect. What can I say? The shots connect, and I've got damage boost. I've been aim training.
Love it, Brady. You got a question?
Oh yeah. Okay. So Carroll comes out on this. You guys come out on map 2 on Kings Row, and we have this kind of crazy rotation coming out from Northwestern. And yeah. I think you guys had to adapt to that because we haven't really seen anything like that before. They go up the stairs and they jump the gap and then come down from height. How in the moment did you respond to that? And I mean, like, what were the comms like in that moment? How did you keep everything together?
Yeah, well, we were just like pretty okay with just giving height. Like we didn't really have any fear of giving up height there. So every time that if it was Genji or the Junkrat, like any of the DPS players, we would just greed them really hard and have Steven push to the bottom of the stairs so we could pinch them. Like that was the call we kept making, was like, I'll pinch on Mini and let Steven push them up the stairs just so they have nowhere to go. And then let their supports make the mistakes of coming in deeper and like not being able to get out. So we just get more staggers. But when their tank would go up height, I was just giving it. Like, there's no point in me standing up there and fighting it. If I just made their tank spend, 10 seconds going up height to counter me, when I can just roll back to the back, keep putting pressure down main, just be like, just spraying down main, hoping to hit something, and give Steven 10 seconds of free time just to like run through their team or look for a play, like that just gives us value. I mean, that is just pure value. So I'm okay with just giving up height, and then the second that tank leaves, I'll just retake it. Like every time that they would rotate over, and it would be like like there was one point when it was Genji, Junkrat, and like Kiri up there, and the D.Va was there, and the D.Va flew off to go like dive Ben or something, and so I was like, okay, I'll just go back height again, and I just shot down the hallway and like got like 2 of them, and so yeah, I'm okay with giving height against teams that have like egos on tank. Like, fine, take it, bro. I'll just kill your whole team.
You hit the shot onto the Curie with Widow right away on the attack.
Bro, that's so crazy. Yes. Oh, that was so fun. Were you guys spectating that?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. If I see you lined up on the Widow on Kings Row, of course I'm always going to spectate that.
Dude, well, yeah, we knew we had time, so the whole game plan going into Kings was Jasmine would pocket Cass for maybe like an easy headshot body shot combo, because that just like one taps on Cass. It's like really powerful. So that was one of the plays. Or we were going to play until I got a pick. We were just playing for picks because we had so much time. We knew if we went up 1, we could just walk through them. So the whole game plan was, I'm going to sit up there, look for a pick, and then the second we get a pick, just run through it. So when I hit that shot, I just whipped around. I'm like, get on Sojourn. We got to go right now. Everybody run. It was funny hearing the calls. It was just like, over the trench wall, like run forward, don't stop running forward, and it worked. It worked. You gotta love when Widow connects. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped to see that. So going into Cervasa, we talked about this a little bit before going into the third map and going into Flashpoint. We feel like Flashpoint has been the map that's kind of been like the most consistently contentious for you guys. Usually I'm going the full distance, like with needing to get that win on the 5th map, but it usually comes down pretty close. So tonight you guys rolled. Was that a team comp difference? How did you guys adjust to that? Or how did you prepare for that this week?
We actually went through a bit of like a soul search at one point over Flashpoint because we kept rolling people on more conventional game modes, but then the new game mode being Flashpoint, it's really quick. It's very like one ult can get like 50-60%. I mean, if you stall for like 10 seconds, you get so much more progress off that. Like Flashpoint's just kind of a weird game mode, and then there's like the transitions between point to point, and we were just struggling with like weird fundamental stuff. Like we would get caught out in transition a lot, and we were just like doing weird stuff. So we started to make Flashpoint kind of a focus in practice, where like if we ever got a Flashpoint map, we would just like lock in. Like it was like, this is like full try hard. Like we really got to figure out how to play Flashpoint. So I think tonight was just like, we just kind of know now. Like we just kind of like worked out some of our problems on Flashpoint, and like we still make some mistakes. Like on First Point, me and Jasmine like chased the Sombra a little bit too far off, which on I think certain game modes that could be fine because we're up characters, and if we chase a little bit off point or go in a little deep, we can still get out. But on Flashpoint, you get like really punished because everything is so spread out that you can't get any peels if one of you goes down. So we just had to learn like how to play it, but I think we're gonna have better chances on Flashpoint. Like I think we're just gonna be able to kind of hold our own, and other teams are gonna actually have to beat us. We're not gonna like beat ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is the goal.
Obviously, that's definitely the goal. You have the benefit as being the 1 seed for the rest of the series and the rest of the playoffs. You are going to get to roll out on Ilios every single time. What does it mean to be able to set the tone with a map that you're so comfortable with?
Well, I know that for at least next time we'll get to go out on Ilios. The last one, I think that we might have to flip in the finals if we make it. I think that
you guys will win that.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, we should win the flip. I mean, like, come on. But I mean, like, we'll obviously apply to the ethics committee to not get the flip because that'd be unfair. And we'll just get Ilios. But I'm thinking that like Ilios for next, like being able to kind of like go through this next week and just say like, okay, we know we're rolling out on Ilios. We know we're comfortable. We're going to do film study. We haven't really done film study because we don't know who made it. I know NMU won on the other side of the bracket. They beat PSU, but I don't know who won on our side, whether it was Texas A&M or LSU. If it was LSU, we're in a pretty good spot because this team beat LSU pretty handedly. But we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. We played Tamuk earlier this year. We did drop a game to them. We dropped first round, but then we were able to go 3 in a row after that. It was just that first round, they pulled down like a really heavy dive comp. It was like Winston and Winston, Tracer, Genji maybe. It was like super dive heavy or Sojourn, Tracer, Winston. And so that gave us a little bit of trouble. We had to kind of adjust there. But also, they got map pick there. They went Busan, and we struggle on Busan. So being able to say, we're playing Ilios, have fun diving us, like, that is really nice. That does take away a big weapon from them. Because, yeah, playing Busan was very hard for us to compete. We still brought, I think the worst loss we had on points was like, we lost one 97 to 100, and then we lost one 95 to 100, and then we 100-0 the other one. So, like, we can win on Busan, but yeah, playing Ilios would be much better, I'd say.
Okay. Last question for you. Do you think that the addition of perks has made a significant difference in how you guys are approaching different maps or different team compositions? I mean, you're still running sort of the same team composition, so has perks only kind of reinforced that for you? Or have you guys been practicing other things in response to perks?
They kind of just buffed our team because we don't really switch ever. So, like, we don't ever lose perk progress. Like, these other teams that play Mystery Heroes, they, like, lose all their perk progress and ult progress, so they fall behind on perks. And also, for fragging, we get perks faster. So, it's been really nice. Like, I mean, the 2 perks that I use, the one where I get 150 for rails, that means damage boosted, I can just one-tap anybody. And it's just like an insta-kill. It makes it super easy in ult. And then my disruptor shot that sticks to people, if I stick that on a squishy and get, like, 3 shots, it's a kill. So... yeah. I really like the perks. I think the perks are benefiting us because we don't move around a lot. Like, we don't switch very often. And if we do, we have those perks down too. I mean, like, our main switches is maybe like Torb and Cass, but we know those perks. I might play Tracer. I know the perks. Like, we don't, and then Steven knows all the perks of the tanks he plays. So I think the perks are helping us. I think that is actually like benefiting our team pretty well.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, Paxton, congratulations. Paxton, congratulations on the team. It was an exciting first week, and we're looking forward to the A&M or LSU matchup that you're going to have next week.
Oh, yeah. We're rolling. We're ready.
We're
ready.
Oh, yeah.
We're ready.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Paxton. Appreciate your time as always.
I just delete myself off the screen. Wait, where's our 5 big booms? I was promised.
Oh, sorry. Let me get you guys your 5 big booms really quick.
Boom! 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 Oh, 6 big
I think
booms?
that was 6.
Was that 6?
Bro!
Wait, hold on. Sorry, that was too much. That was too much.
It's a set
Don't
of
ever
callback
ban
for
feeding
6v6.
Yeah, bring back 6v6 in Overwatch.
Don't ever accuse me of feeding again, bro. Just fed in the big booms. That's criminal.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. We will be here next week. Going to be up against LSU A&M. Be ready for that game. Thanks so much for joining. And as always, Brady, go Saints.
Go Saints.